Hey, you rich girls, welcome to another episode of Rich Girls Guide. Alright, today's episode is going to be a little bit different and I am so excited about it. I have been working on this for over a month at this point, and it is, drumroll please, the $800 grocery challenge. Woo! For the month of January, our family decided to do an $800 grocery challenge for the entire month. Now, we have a family of 4, okay? So it's me, my husband, and the 2 of us can eat a lot of food. And we also have 2 girls who could probably eat a pound in fruit exclusively if they could. Now, obviously, we have all been feeling the inflation at the grocery store, and I was kind of starting to write out an episode about that, and this idea popped into my head. Also, it may have been because the month before, in November of last year, we went way over budget on our grocery bill. And by way over budget, I mean we spent $1,700 at Kroger alone. Yeah, I wish I was kidding. To be fair, it was Thanksgiving. We were getting lots of stuff for our family, other people, alcohol. We got dog food. It still shouldn't have been $1,700, but we're gonna leave it there. So essentially for January, I really wanted to stretch our limits and see what we could do budgeting wise without changing too much of our diet and normal meals that we'll cook as a family. Now, before I tell you whether or not we actually did our $800 budget, whether or not we were able to stick to it or not, and by the way, today is January 31st and we are not going to the grocery store, so we do know whether or not we made the challenge. Actually, fun little exercise, if you think that we spent under $800 and beat the budget, drop a comment below on YouTube and let me know yes or no. Maybe only if you think yes. Anyways, when I was sitting down and kind of fleshing out my ideas for this episode, I started writing down trying to figure out what a good budget would be for the challenge. So basically, I started writing down all of the things that I would want to purchase and the different stores that we would go to try and create different meals. So the 4 big places were Costco, of course, Kroger. We have a Kroger literally a minute away from us, and I'm embarrassed to say we normally go there like 3 to 4 times a week, which comes out to like 12 times a month. Yeah, so we definitely needed to like cut back on that a little bit. I also put Trader Joe's on here, which I will get to them at the end. And of course, Aldi. Now, luckily, we have an Aldi right by our library, and we go to the library a ton with our little ones. So it was easy to just pop in there on our way to or from the library, grab a few things that were on sale, or if there was nothing there, we didn't need to grab anything. Without further ado, we beat budget! It was hard, and I'm gonna go over some stuff in here, but we spent $798.21. So we beat budget barely by $1.79. All right, so I'm gonna go over a few of the biggest reasons why I think we were able to stick to the budget and how we still had fun with it. We were not starving in the house, and we did not go and eat out at restaurants every other day to make up for the grocery budget. All right, so first things first, I think literally writing down all of the things that I wanted to purchase and different types of meals that we were going to be cooking, I think that was super helpful to think of that up front and then kind of build a grocery list around that. I know a lot of people probably already do that. Personally, we don't. We'll just kind of like look in the fridge, look in the pantry right before we go out to the store and just be like, hey, we're out of bread, let's get some bread. Ooh, we're out of peanut butter, let's get some peanut butter. And then I would have a list, but inevitably as soon as we get to the grocery store, hunger takes over and 5 things of Oreos end up in the cart. I swear to God, I did not even touch them, okay? They fell in there. I'm not gonna put them back, like they're already in there. So writing down actual meals and then kind of backtracking what I would need to make those meals was super helpful. Costco, I really relied heavily on getting bulk foods. Now, obviously, if you live alone, you don't have kids, or it's just you and your partner, Costco might not be the best place to do that. but you can still use a lot of these concepts with just like a normal grocery store. So a couple of the big things that we got at Costco that were huge game changers that we have not used before. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but we got the giant, like the huge thing of like 24 chicken breasts. I think it was 24. I think it was like 12 packets, 12 packaged double chicken breasts. So I'm pretty sure it's 24 chicken breasts. It was a lot of chicken. Let me just put it that way. It was a lot of chicken and it was like $25, okay? Now, normally I would go to like Wegmans and I would get one little pre-packaged 2 chicken breasts that were already marinated. They were super yummy, easy to cook. But then one package would be like $8. So if I had 24 chicken breasts, so if I got 12 of those packages, that would be almost $100 compared to $24. Now, I will say, I took notes on this. So for the chicken specifically, what we ended up doing is the first time we got it, it was $26 for all of the chicken breasts. And then I went to Kroger and got some fun little marinades and different types of flavors. And I think those added up to like $8. So between the chicken and the marinade, it was like $32, $33. And that lasted almost all of January. Now, we still have some of the marinade, but we did end up running out of chicken like the last week of January. So I did have to make another Costco run, and we did get a whole nother 24 pack of chicken. So included in that $798 that I spent, we're gonna have chicken for the next like 2 or 3 weeks now. So like well into February, which is awesome. I'm super excited about that. Another thing that we had not done that I'm like literally I can just see my budgeting friends like smacking me upside the head right now. Ow. We got frozen vegetables. Again, I know this seems like really stupid and like, duh, have you never used frozen vegetables before? And like, yes, of course we have, but I think we just got stuck in certain food habits. So for me personally, I love to get a bag of frozen broccoli, like a single serve bag of broccoli that I can just throw in the microwave. You microwave it for like 4 or 5 minutes and then you can take it out, throw salt on it, and it's like a super, quick, easy snack for any time during the day. So instead of using it as like a snack item, I got a giant thing of stir fry vegetables and they're flash frozen, which supposedly flash frozen is like just as good as your normal produce. And my husband would make this really awesome chicken vegetable stir fry with like a ton of soy sauce. Guys, it was so delicious. And then we'd have rice on the side. Instead of getting like that pre-made, pre-seasoned basmati rice that we would normally get from Costco, we just got a giant thing of rice. And then my husband would season it and then we would have a bunch. He would make a bunch at a time and then we would have stuff left over throughout the week. And this, like, the stir fry was awesome because we could have vegetables saved and I could just like use those as a snack. We could have extra chicken to just throw on a salad. It was honestly just such a good use of cooking time because he'd be able to cook a lot and we could use it throughout the week in different ways for our meals. So one thing that we've tried to do in the past, I was just super mindful about this, was getting cheap fruit in lieu of expensive fruit. Now, I know that might be like a little divisive for some people, especially if you have little ones that are picky eaters. For the most part, our little ones are not picky eaters at all. Like you could literally drop a piece of fruit on the floor. They won't even know what it is. They'll just do a little drive-by, pick it up and shove it in their mouth. Which is good in some respects and not so good in other respects. But when it comes to fruit, they have expensive taste, okay? They want those organic blueberries. They want the raspberries. They want the out-of-season blackberries. And January was not having any of that. We had lots of bananas. We had lots of apples. Normally we don't get oranges. We definitely got some mandarin oranges in January. And the girls were perfectly happy. Once that more expensive fruit comes into season and maybe we can actually go do a family activity out of it, like picking berries on the farm or using it as like a sweet treat, we'll incorporate it that way. Another thing that I started doing more consistently, and this is something that we had done previously, but I started doing a lot more consistently in January, was doing fruit smoothies. So the girls were still getting the yummy blueberries and raspberries. Let's be real, I like the more expensive fruit too. We were still getting them, but instead of getting that really expensive whole fruit, we were getting the frozen giant Costco bag and then blending it into a smoothie. So you still get that super yummy fruit taste. You're still getting all the great nutrition and antioxidants. And we'll throw in some Greek yogurt, Costco, of course. And it's not like we were replacing our grocery budget with going out to Smoothie King or what have you. We're still doing stuff here just in a cheaper way than we normally would. And I wrote this down, and I kind of feel bad for saying this, but I really think one of the biggest things that helped our budget was not letting my husband go get the groceries. Now, I know that sounds a little mean, but hear me out here. Normally, I'll go to Costco like once a month and I'll get some stuff. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Costco for us is not a huge grocery place. We would, stack up on a couple things. We would definitely get a ton of pre-made food that we could just heat up, which is helpful for not eating out at restaurants, but is not super helpful for your grocery budget. So while we still got a few pre-made frozen meals to help us with not eating out or ordering in, I really focused on trying to get bulk items that we would eat or that we could freeze for future use. And by really utilizing Costco in that way to get as much food as we possibly could for the best price, we didn't have to go to Kroger as much. And that really, I think, saved a lot of our budget. You see, normally throughout the week, either myself or my husband, normally my husband, would go out to grab something that we ran out of because we didn't plan appropriately. And while he was there, of course, he would have to get an energy drink. He would probably pick me up a bottle or two of wine, maybe even a box, get some snacks for the girls, and literally just whatever else he saw would go straight into the basket, including that pre-sliced expensive ass fruit. By going to Costco and reminding him that we have this grocery challenge on hand, he was actually a little nervous to go to the grocery store, so he only went twice. And I really think that made a huge difference. But overall, I am so glad that we did this challenge, and my husband and I actually were joking about it a couple weeks ago, and he said, yeah, I don't think I need to go anymore. I'll go get the dog food when we need it, but other than that, you can go ahead and take over. You're doing great. Will we be trying to stick to an $800 grocery budget for the rest of this year? Probably not. But I am definitely going to decrease our overall grocery budget. For 2024, I had budgeted it at $1,400. Now, that also includes a lot of our paper towels, napkins, toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. Now, luckily, I did a lot of stocking up in December on those types of items. I usually only need to get those items once every 2-ish months. Next month, February, will probably be a little bit higher than this month just because of that. But overall, I'm thinking we can probably stick closer to like a $1,200 grocery budget without me having to bring along my crazy notebook and be like really strict about it. Now, we did have to rearrange our freezer a bit just to make room for all of the frozen things that we got. So just be mindful if you do get inspired by this and you like run out to Costco, just make sure you do a little clean out before you go to make sure you know how much space you have. Last but not least, I could not end this episode without talking about one of the big things, cutting out alcohol. So for those of you who have been listening to every episode, you are probably very aware by now that I have completely cut out alcohol from my life. And actually, one of my goals for 2024 is to continue it for a full year. Now, when I tell you that this has affected our grocery bill, it has really affected our grocery bill. Now, I was not like a wine snob or like anywhere close to that. I was perfectly happy with a big box of red wine, but I was still spending an actual percentage of our monthly budget on alcohol. So the last month before I cut out alcohol, which was November, I went back and I actually like crunched the numbers and I probably spent about $110 on alcohol. So not terrible, but not great. If that was included in this $800 challenge, that would have amounted to almost 14% of the overall grocery budget, which is kind of disgusting. The other thing about this is either Alfred or I would go out at least once a week to restock on wine on our Kroger run, which meant another grocery store run, and of course, more unnecessary purchases. So this is just to say, if you're thinking about maybe doing a challenge month, a grocery budget cut down, maybe think about either decreasing your alcohol budget or cutting it out completely just for 1 month to see what kind of a difference it makes. Oh, one thing, almost forgot. So I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to get from Trader Joe's, and I normally love Trader Joe's. I still love Trader Joe's. But what I will say, yes, they have some cheap stuff. They have a lot of pre-made stuff. And for the most part, the only like whole foods they have are pretty expensive. So I actually made the decision about halfway through January to not go to Trader Joe's, which I think was probably a good decision. But I am very excited to go there tomorrow, February 1st, and stock up on some stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there because I had 4 places I really wanted to hit: Costco, Trader Joe's, Kroger, and Aldi. And the only place that I did not go to and ended up being intentionally so was Trader Joe's. I still love you, Trader Joe's. Well, I had so much fun with that episode. If you guys want to see any more challenges, let me know in the comments. I would love to maybe incorporate something else. Maybe we'll do a week of only Trader Joe's shopping. I don't know how that would go. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else that you guys would want to see. I will catch you guys next Monday. Later, rich girls.